Barring a Patriots victory over the Bills tonight, this was the biggest win of the day, and it happened to be my favorite team, which I am absolutely ecstatic about. So let's go ahead and let's review this. So the Denver Broncos give the Philadelphia Eagles their first loss of the season, 21-17, in an absolutely amazing comeback. Look at that right there. 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter for the Broncos to come back down 2 scores, 14 points, to come back and take the win. This is big for Denver. I mean, this was a win that I honestly did not believe that they were going to go out and get. I thought that the Eagles were going to be much too good, and especially, the way that they have played in close matchups this year. I just thought that either it was going to be a blowout win or we were going to be in a close matchup and the Eagles were going to have the advantage there. And I thought that my suspicions were correct because, let's be honest, Denver didn't play a good first half whatsoever. I mean, if you go back and rewatch that game, the offense got nothing going within that entire first half. The Eagles were shutting down the run game. Bo Nix looked really, really, really sloppy early on. It was starting to look a little bit scary, heading into that mid to late section of that third quarter. And first of all, just shout out to the Broncos defense before we get even further, because their ability to hold the Eagles to 17 points was the reason that Denver went out and won this game today. That pass rush is absolutely incredible. They continue to lead the leagues in sacks. Nick Bonito is once again putting together a potential Defensive Player of the Year campaign. It's great. And while the secondary did struggle at times, Surtain got a little bit beat by A.J. Brown. Riley Moss continues to get targeted just simply because he's opposite of the best corner in the league. They hung in tough. They limited scores as much as they could, and when the time was right, the offense finally exploded because in that fourth quarter, they finally started to get a groove. The running game was starting to get a little bit better. Sean Payton was really starting to get into his calls, and Bo Nix was really starting to put throws on the money. And they just began driving the ball continuously, and it didn't really feel like Philly really honestly had an answer. And then on the other side, again, the Broncos D came up huge. I mean, they limited the Eagles to minimal run game within this game. The Eagles, pretty smart, idea from them to come out. They passed a lot during this matchup, kind of similar to the way that the Colts attacked the Broncos about 2 weeks ago. And it worked for a little bit, but then they just kind of started to fizzle out, and Jalen Hurts really just couldn't get nothing going. A couple of controversial calls throughout this game. There was the no call at the end with Dallas Goedert on the holding call. I definitely thought that was pass interference, but that ended up not being called. You also had the Bo Nix roughing the passer. No, not roughing the passer. Intentional grounding. Sorry, my brain's fried. But you had that intentional grounding call. I think that was a right call to have it as a no call because I think that Troutman was within the area, but that was close. You had that Patrick Surtain call late in the first quarter that